Good evening. Welcome to the Monday night edition of Primetime News on MTV Sports. My name is Ravi Gamage.
And I'm Punchani Edrisingha. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Volatile situation following arrival of the new principal of Vidyalok Vidyalaya. 6 students and a teacher hospitalized. Supreme Court reprimands the Secretary to the Ministry of Education. President makes a public appeal to be mindful of obligation towards children. 4 individuals, including 2 policemen, killed in an accident in Aturgiriya.
Starting off with local news, the Lankan Indian Oil Company has increased the price of a litre of normal diesel and extra mild diesel by 4 rupees from midnight tonight. Thereby, the new price of a litre of normal diesel will be 121 rupees, while the revised price of a litre of extra mild diesel will be 123 rupees.
5 people died in motor accidents in Maharagama, Aturgiriya and Horana in the last 24 hours. The police stated that 24 individuals have sustained injuries in these accidents.
A cab which was proceeding towards Kadwela from Aturgiriya on night patrol on the expressway under construction had met with an accident. The police media spokesperson stated that the accident had occurred when the cab veered off the temporary road parallel to the expressway and toppled into a marshland. The marshland is around 10 feet deep. 4 individuals, including 2 policemen, died in this accident, which occurred early this morning. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana stated that among the deceased is a Chinese national. A 27-year-old police constable identified as Asanka Kapilakumara, who was attached to the Aturgiriya police, was one of the victims. Asanka, who was a resident of the Nakkala area in Monragala, had joined the police service in 2012 and was the 4th in a family of 5 children. The other police constable who died in the accident is Danuka Nishanta. Danuka, who was a resident of the Navadava area in Yakkalamulla, was 21 years old at the time of his death. Sudat Arunakumara, who drove the vehicle, also died in the accident. 54-year-old Arunakumara, who was a resident of the Makumra area in Magama, is a father of 2. Meanwhile, Teldama director Nalaka Vedamulla died in an accident in the Navin area in Maharagama early this morning. 4 individuals sustained injuries in the accident, which occurred when 2 vehicles collided head-on. Nalaka, who was 35 years old at the time of his death, is a father of 1. His body is currently lying at a funeral parlour in Colombo. A spokesperson for the Colombo South Teaching Hospital stated that 3 individuals who sustained injuries in the accident are currently receiving in-house treatment. He added that one of the injured is a police officer. Meanwhile, 20 people were injured when 2 buses collided head-on on the Maharagama road in Talagala, Horana. The driver of the 2 buses are among the injured.
The Federation of University Teachers Association told the Mahanayakas of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters today that they are prepared to be flexible with their demands. The Mahanayakas stated that they were prepared to mediate to create the necessary environment for discussions to take place.
Last week, the Mahanayakas of the Askari and Malwatu chapters stated that they were prepared to act as mediators to resolve the university crisis. FUTA, which agreed to this offer of mediation, met the chief prelates today. A group of representatives of FUTA, including its vice president, Venerable Dambara Amilathera, and general secretary, Dr. Terence Madhujit, visited the Mahanayaka Theras. They first met the Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter of the Siam Mahanikaya, Venerable Udugama Sri Buddharakita Thera.
Except for 1 or 2 people who make various statements based on their loyalties, the entire body of university lecturers is with us. So we are asking the government, the president and the ministers to immediately come for discussions.
We must act with prudence and ensure a good program for the children's education. Therefore, we need to discuss this and then meet the president. No matter what the ministers say, the final word is with the president. It must come from there. The Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter agreed to meet with the president along with a group of FUTA representatives for discussions on the matter. Subsequently, the university lecturers met the Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam Mahanikaya, the most venerable Tibbatuabe Sri Sumangala Thera. We cannot reach an agreement with politicians. What will they promise? Will they keep their promises? If you can compromise on what you are asking for and take it to the president, he may provide a good solution. I can remember a protest in Ratmalana which resulted in a death. Even here, there has been a similar incident. The government needs to think about this. Meanwhile, speaking at an event held in Udnur today, Minister of Higher Education S.P. Dissanayake expressed these views regarding the university lecturers' demands. About 5% of these people have become involved with foreign forces and are using the education sector to destroy this country. The budget is coming up next month and not a cent will be increased before that. This is the truth. Lecturers are now rushing to their lectures. Today, lecturers have come forward and are revealing the truth. Therefore, we cannot allow this 5% to sabotage university education in this country. The Mahanayakas have made a special request to mediate in this matter. I believe that they will at least listen to the most venerable Mahanayakas and come for discussions.
Attending a function held at the Rajasinghe College in Bope, Paduka, President Mahinda Rajapaksa appealed to the general public to think about their responsibilities towards children.
The President declared open a new laboratory and a building at the Rajasinghe College in Bope, which had been constructed under the Mahinda Chintane Vision for the Future program to develop 1,000 schools in line with World Children's Day, which falls today.
Ada me daruhan lama lokaya samarana velawedi දෙමව්පියන් මේ වගකීම හරියාකාර අවබෝධ කරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
I believe that at this time, when we are celebrating World Children's Day, parents need to understand their duties and responsibilities and act accordingly. The same applies to the tutorial staff and the lecturers in universities. I believe that there will be no better day than this to decide to mark the examination papers of these children. On their behalf, I am asking the university lecturers not to ask for their entire pound of flesh, but to put the children first. This is their duty. Therefore, I am appealing to them to carry out this task at least today.
මම මේ සියලු දරුවන් වෙනුවෙන් මම ඒ ආචාර්යවරුන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Up next is a look at Action TV.
Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Gotabaya Jayaratne, who is a special grade official in the Sri Lanka Administrative Service, was given a dressing down by a Supreme Court bench today. The Education Secretary appeared before court today following an order that was issued at the last hearing of a petition in which he is cited as respondent, asking him to personally make submissions. The petition was filed by the first grade official of the Sri Lanka Education Administrative Service in relation to the failure to allow her to take up her appointment by the Public Service Commission on the 31st of May to the position of principal at the Visakha Vidyalaya, Bandarawala for close upon 4 months. The individual who was holding the position of acting principal when this official received her appointment had only allowed her to come up to the entrance of the school. Speaking in court today, Supreme Court Justice K. Sri Pawan questioned the Education Secretary as to what he would feel if an additional secretary at the ministry only allowed him to come to the entrance of the ministry and sign the attendance register. The court also focused its attention on a letter issued by the Education Secretary suspending the appointment given to this official by the Public Service Commission. Justice K. Sri Pawan stated in court today that through this action by the Education Secretary, it had become clear that he is not fit to hold the position of Secretary to a ministry. Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake, who noted that she too had witnessed footage of the petitioner signing the attendance register at the gate of the Visakha Vidyalaya, Bandarawala, questioned as to whether the Secretary to the Ministry of Education has the power to overstep a decision arrived at by an independent commission appointed by the President. Meanwhile, Justice K. Sri Pawan noted that the Educational Secretary could be punished under Clause 53C of the Constitution. The Education Secretary had then pleaded forgiveness from the court. Meanwhile, the official who was denied the opportunity to take up his position as principal of Vidyaloka College Galle, a position to which he received his appointment letter on the 31st of May, assumed duties today. Following the assumption of duties by the duly appointed principal, this is the situation that arose in the school.
Following Following the volatile situation that developed this morning, security has been tightened at Vidyaloka College, Galle. The police said that while a police contingent has been deployed at the school and surrounding areas, broad investigations have been launched into the incident. Deputy Director of the Karapitia Teaching Hospital, Dr. Jayampati Senanaik, said that 6 students and a teacher who were injured in the incident have been admitted to the hospital.
In other local news, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Chandima Veerakkodi says that the objectives of the government cannot be achieved if everyone does not commit themselves to the policies of the government. He made this statement during a function held in Galle today.
The Vidyaloka Vidyalaya in Galle transformed into a war zone. When there are schools to which principals should be appointed immediately, a principal is appointed to a school which is running smoothly. There is a problem in that school now owing to the actions of several officials. Who should be held responsible for this? The officials and the commissions that are not taking action to uphold the law should be held responsible for this. Therefore, I would like to state that action should be taken against officials who act in this manner. The foundation stone for the Mahindodaya Technical Laboratory at the Siddhartha Mahavidyalaya in Habaradua, Galle was laid by Deputy Speaker Chandima Veerakkodi.
Meanwhile, UMP parliamentarian Kabir Hashim also commented on the current state of education in Sri Lanka.
In the last few months, we've seen issues after issues arising in the education and higher education sector. We've seen parents, students, children telling the ministers, appealing for them to make changes in the system, but to no avail because the ministers don't listen to the people's voices. As a result, this crisis has come to a head at the moment. All these issues have emanated because the ministers have not addressed this problem. If the ministers can't handle their job, and if this crisis cannot be averted by the ministers in charge, then the government must take action.
And time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
Children's world is for children. This is the theme of this year's World Children's Day.
An event was held today at Satutuyana in Colombo in view of World Children's Day. President Mahinda Rajapaksa was the chief guest at the event. A group including Senior Minister H.M. Fauzi participated in this event, which was organized by Public Relations Minister Mervyn Silva. World Children's Day was established following the passing of a resolution at the UN General Assembly on the 14th of December 1954. The Convention on Children's Rights was adopted by the UN on the 20th of November 1989. According to this convention, unless the prevailing law of a country considers suffrage to be at a lesser age, all persons under the age of 18 are considered children. In addition to Children's Day, World Elders' Day is also celebrated today. Persons above the age of 60 fall into the category of elders. According to current forecasts, the number of elders in the world would double by 2025. More than half of the world's elderly population live in Asia.
Many events were organized across the island today in view of the World Children's Day and Elders' Day.
An event was held at the Roman Catholic School in Katukurunda in line with World Children's Day to welcome the cricketers of the Arjuna Ranatunga Foundation who won the Raval Championship in India. The event was held under the auspices of parliamentarian Arjuna Ranatunga. Meanwhile, gifts were presented to a children's home in Gorakhana and a group of children in the area by the Panadura North Police together with the Civil Defence Committee today. Equipment was provided to expecting mothers and an office of the Children's and Women's Bureau was also opened in line with Children's Day. This cultural festival was held at the Ibbagamu Divisional Secretariat in line with World Elders' Day. It was organized by the Ibbagamu Divisional Secretariat and the Divisional Elders Balamandalaya.